Hey YouTube, it's your girl Chic from Chic Say What, and I am jumping on here today because I wanted to discuss the YouTube wars that's currently going on between two Black female content creators. So before we get started, as usual, if you can please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you will get the updates when I go live. So let's get into it. What happened to the Pink Pill channel? So let's talk about what is the Pink Pill channel. The Pink Pill channel is a channel that was started by a woman by the name of Crystalline. So let me bring her picture up so you can see. I can show you what she looks like, just for those of you who are not familiar with her. I actually went to her website. So this is her website. So she has this brand that's called the Pink Pill. So the premise, and her name is Crystalline. So the premise of her channel, her work, she strongly encourages Black women, African-American women, whatever you want to call the women of melanin that looks like her. She strongly encourages women of color to divest. And divest means to just explore your options to date outside of your race. So if you're a Black woman, she encourages for you to be open to dating other men, in particular white men or Caucasian men. She recently got a divorce from her husband. She was married. I'm not quite sure how long she was married to him, but they did have like 3 kids together. She had one before entering that marriage. She already had a child. I believe she was not married to that man. That was a Black man. She has a child that was by a Black man. And she met and married a white man, and they had 3 children together. So she has a total of 4 children, probably ranging from the age of about as old as I think she said maybe 23, all the way down to like 12. So that's Crystalline. Very popular. I'm a subscriber of her channel. Well, as in my heading or my title, it's what happened to the Pink Pill channel. So I haven't seen that channel out there anymore since I learned of the drama between her and another YouTuber by the name of Cynthia G, or some may know her as Cyn G. So I talked about Crystalline. You know, she encourages for Black women to divest, to explore your options, to be open to dating white men. From her experience, white men are interested in dating Black women. So she's just trying to create an environment where she can help that process with the introductory of Black women and white men. So that's Crystalline. Cynthia G, I'm also a subscriber of her channel. So Cynthia G, she's, how can I describe Cynthia? Cynthia is Cynthia's, or what, people call her as Cyn, C-Y-N, Cyn G. So Cyn, she basically go hard on the Black man. She just think, for the most part, all Black men are trash. So I started listening to her. She talks about how in her past, she was like really pro Black men forever. We need to support our Black men. Like, she initially started along those lines with her platform. I think she probably came on the scene maybe around 2016, around that time. But from what she says, what I've heard her say with just listening to her content, she kind of stopped being that pro advocate of the Black man, because she started having experiences with the Black man that were unfavorable. She said it wasn't really rooted in just her personal from a relationship standpoint, but she ended up having this stalker who portrayed himself as a white man, but it turned out he was a Black man. So here it is. She has at the time had this YouTube channel where she's like pro Black male, anybody who's against a Black man, they can pretty much kick rocks. Like, she was just pro black man, but she had this black man that was just making her life just, you know, a living hell, for lack of a better word I can come up with. But so from that experience, it kind of turned her, she kind of developed this mindset of, okay, well, why am I out here pushing black men forever when I'm getting taunted and stalked by a black man? So I remember when I first learned about her, probably about 3 to 4 years ago, she did talk about having a stalker she had just moved. So I want to say maybe around that time was when she was kind of switching her content and what she would speak on. About, you know, she switched from being pro black man to anti-black man. So here, fast forward to today. If you are familiar with Cynthia G, you know that she's basically like, she doesn't really say anything favorable about black men. Now, like I said, I am a subscriber of hers because I found her many years ago, and I just listen to her thoughts. I'm not one to say that I agree with everything that she says, but I'm just, you know, a person that just like to just hear different people's point of views, whether it's been my experiences or not. I just feel like that's just how we grow, with just listening to what people have to say, being respectful of what their plight has been, what their experiences has been, and it being just that, you know, just listening to someone else's story. So fast forward to today and me learning of just the drama between Crystalline Crazen, or what many may know her as the pink pill. Apparently, after listening to Cynthia G's side, her and Crystalline some years back kind of had a YouTube wars where it was like back and forth. Cynthia said that Crystalline had done some videos that she's now made private, talking about her hair, accusing her of bleaching her skin. And as a result of that, G responded. So what I'm hearing is that fairly recently, Crystalline kind of put out the receipts for, I guess, G coming for her. G did admit, yes, I did come for her, but she did not tell the whole story. She let you all know my response to her coming for me first. So that's where we are with that. So this was maybe, I guess, with them going back and forth, I think Cindy said maybe that was maybe around 2016. So fast forward to this year, 2021. She said, I believe it was this year, they kind of talked through it. Crystalline reached out to her. They had conversation pieces about it. Crystalline invited her to even come out to California. But basically, it was just like they squashed things since then, since that Crystalline has visited her platform and even sent her money, I guess, through super chats to show support. But basically, since like I thought it was all squashed and we didn't have any more issues. So now, apparently not that long ago, I'm taking it, seemed like maybe within the matter of the last couple of days, Crystalline got onto Clubhouse, and Crystalline is now dating this white man that goes by the name of Mr. E. That's what Crystalline calls him, Mr. E. He's Canadian. She's talked about him a lot. I've listened to him speak on her platform. He seemed like a nice guy. As we know, she likes white men. She's divorced now. She got a new white man. So they're dating. That's been her man up until all hell has broken loose, which was recently. So apparently, while on Clubhouse, someone called Crystalline, or actually, I guess they called Mr. E a in lover, which is presumed to have been a white man. Mr. E then responded with, he called him an in lover. Yes. So Mr. E responded by saying, supposedly, allegedly, from what I've heard, because I didn't catch that Clubhouse live, I guess, because that's information. It's not like it's saved. You kind of are a part of the conversation or you're not. So apparently his response was, I guess I am a in lover then. So he used the word. So y'all, that's kind of where it went left. It's like it took all the attention away from the man who came on there calling him an in lover and being disrespectful. And the attention then flipped to Mr. E saying, well, I guess I'm an in lover. So then it's just like, okay, so he used the word as well. From what I've heard, like Crystalline kind of went off and kind of checked him, I guess, even though he was trying to defend her, but still it's like, wow, did we have to use the word? So that's where we are with that, where everybody's kind of, the attention is on the fact that Mr. E used the N-word. Now, is Mr. E a racist? Like, based on that whole scenario of what went down and him using it and how he used it, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say he deserves to have get some type of benefit of the doubt, given you got, it's one of those things where you got to know what happened, not, oh, Mr. E running around using the N-word. Nah, it's not Mr. E running around using the N-word. Someone used it and he called himself kind of clapping back and saying, well, I guess I'm an N lover then. And it's just like, oh, bro, like, it's like, okay, you do love Crystalline, but bro, like, did we have to say, I guess I'm an N lover? Like, could we just have said, well, anything other than you using that derogatory word? So here it is. It's like, from what I'm hearing, like, it's got Crystalline looking some type of way, looking crazy in these streets. This is her brand, the pink pill. So it's like, okay, Crystalline's channel, listen, I've tried a couple of times type in the pink pill because I was actually typed it in because I want to see, well, what is Crystalline saying about all this? Her channel isn't coming up. I've seen people, other content creators kind of do a video in regards to what's been going on or the channel's been gone, but I couldn't access her channel. Her channel has like 100,000+ subscribers. So she's been doing her thing. She's been around for a minute. Like I said, I really like Crystalline. She has great positive energy. Like, I really like her. I think she's beautiful. And I recently was kind of, I recently kind of introduced someone, to her, as far as like someone who was showing interest with the idea of, expanding her dating options. She's open. She's a Black woman. She dates Black men, and she was just interested in just opening up her options. So I talked to her about Crystalline, the pink pill brand, and kind of where she operates from, her beliefs and things like that. Shared her Instagram. So now it's just like, wow, like, has this really tainted her brand? Like, are people gonna let it go, chalk it up? Now, here's my thoughts. And I did a comment on another YouTuber's channel when she kind of talked about the situation. My thing is, I feel like Mr. E used that word because it was a word that he had used before. Now, I don't know if he's used it towards anyone, but I felt like, well, for him to have used that word, he wasn't a stranger to that word. So because it wasn't a word that was kind of foreign to him and it's something he's used, he quickly said, well, I guess I'm an N lover, because it's something that was already kind of a part of his vocabulary. Because it's part of his vocabulary, he's not sensitive to the word, because it's just, for him, okay, it's just used loosely. So he used the word. After he used it, in that moment, it's like, okay, he's seen that, wow, okay, it isn't cool, even if I don't use it directly towards somebody, just using it, period, because now this woman that I'm in love with, which I pick up the energy that they are both equally into one another. It's just like, wow, like, I really messed up. So my thing is, the moral of the story I pulled out of this is, people, we need to keep business and personal relationships separate, because like, if you're familiar with Crystalline, we never seen her ex-husband. We knew that she was married to a whole white man, but Crystalline never showed us him. When you would do general searches on her, or what I've done just within this year, that's how I kind of got to see what he looked like. But she never introduced us to him. And I can only think that, he just wasn't interested in being on the internet, which is perfectly fine. I'm not mad at that. I mean, I've never even brought my husband, onto the internet. I may talk about him in my content, but I haven't brought him on my platform. This is my space. So if he's interested, that's one thing, but it's not a lane that I'm really even interested in exploring, because I feel like Crystalline, when she started bringing her personal life, her relationship situation into her business, this is where we're at, because Mr. E has been on quite a bit of her videos. Like, I've seen that man several times. She posts pictures of them a lot. So it's one of those things to where I'm not surprised that we're dealing with some drama surrounding by him, just because it seemed like her platform started to go down the direction of her relationship being a heavy, it was like the thing that she was using to draw people in to listen to her, as she pushed the whole divestment thing. Hey, this is the new man I dated. Like the last video I listened of hers, she was talking about her experience on the dating site. I think it might have been Tinder, not quite sure. So don't quote me on that. But she just kind of talked about the whole experiences, getting, within the first couple of days, having like about 300 men hit her up, most of them being white men. I don't think she put like a preference, oh, I only date white men, but that's just, she said, who hit her up in the higher numbers, the white men. But like I said, Crystalline is beautiful. I'll bring up another, picture of her so you can see what she looks like. Let me see if I still got it, so you guys can see what Crystalline looks like. Crystalline, she's a beautiful lady. So I'm not surprised, with hearing that, a lot of white men want to date her, because, okay, men like beautiful women. This is Crystalline. Let me try to make it bigger. That's Crystalline. So, like I said, her channel is not up. When I went to do a search, I couldn't find anything that came up for the pink pill other than other content creators talking about her. I really hope that this hasn't messed up her brand. I hope, really honestly, that her and Mr. E can kind of get past it. I really would like to know, what you guys think, men and women, because I know, not everybody's in support of dating, interracial dating. If you are, that's your thing. It's up to you. My thing is, do you? I just don't like to hear when someone just completely shuts out their own group of people. That's my thing. And I want to say that Crystalline's that's where she is. Like, if you're a black man, I really don't think Crystalline's even giving you a chance, but I'm not quite sure. But just me listening to her content over the years, I don't think Crystalline's even interested in dating a black man. But I don't never really hear her talk along the lines of just telling women to outright not date black men. So that's the thing. So when you have Cynthia G, she dogs black men, but she doesn't speak on divestment, where she's like, okay, yeah, black men ain't ish, they're trash, go date Brad over there. Like, she doesn't say that. She just stay in her lane. So her channel really is gone. Listen, when I did my search, not quite sure how to say your name, Poriche channel. When I did my search, it didn't come up. So you can maybe try to search, but I'm like the channel, it's not there. So I don't know if she started following, I guess. I know recently I seen that she was on this panel, I think, and there was a conversation, and I'm thinking it might have been other divestors on there. And they were just talking about just divesting. I'm assuming because I seen it come up in my recommendations. Was like I said, I follow her. So I follow her. So when I saw it, I didn't really think anything of it. So I'm thinking, I don't know if, I think somehow I've heard people talk about they'll do clubhouse conversations, but they can still have it kind of go through their YouTube channel. So I'm thinking that must be what happened. It was something that was talked about in the clubhouse, and then it was also going through the YouTube, because I remember like seeing the recommendation of the video, and it was like long, and it was like a panel type situation. And then I think I even seen something where she had another video where she had came back kind of in response to that. So my guess is she must have got a lot of must have got a lot of flack about the comments, like, yo, your man said the word, what you gonna do about that part? Like, she got put on the spot. Roar, but can I have a quick recap on this mess? Yeah, I mean, the recap is Crystalline Crazen of the Pink Pill, her man, Mr. E, while they were on Clubhouse having conversations, I guess about divestment, because that's what Crystalline talks about, was presumed to have been a white man, kind of came on and called Mr. E an in-lover. Mr. E called himself clapping back and said, well, I guess I'm an in-lover then. So it was like, well, wow. I mean, you got to use the word too, Mr. E. Like, and it's like the attention went from the person who called him an in-lover, which insulted his woman, Crystalline, to where him saying, well, I guess I'm an in-lover. So it's like, I get where he was trying to come, but it just went left like real quick. For such a pretty and established woman, she really had no business dealing with the gutter filth of social media. I think Crystalline, like I said, I also, you know, I feel like Crystalline kind of messed up when she started incorporating her personal life into her business. That's the lesson I've gotten out of this whole thing, because as I've said, Crystalline was married for a long time to another white man. She recently, I don't know if you all know, she recently got divorced. Mr. E is just this new guy that she's dating. He's Canadian. I don't know how she met him. I did catch the last YouTube video I caught of her. She was talking about her experience on dating apps. I think it was Tinder or something. So she kind of jumped out there. She said once she separated from her husband, she has 3 biological children with her husband. She already had a child entering that relationship. So Crystalline has 4 children. So I just think that I started seeing that she was kind of bringing Mr. E on a lot of things. Like, I noticed it. It was just like, that's not what she did with her last husband. I don't know if he's like, yo, I don't want to be a part of your world. Like, that's you, which is perfectly fine. I mean, we listen to people, content creators all the time, and their significant others does not become a part of the platform. You got some like, you know, Nyla Says, which do a lot of collaboration with Cynthia G. Her husband, Taz, who also has his own channel, like they oftentimes do a lot of collaboration. I came to learn about Nyla Says through Cynthia G. And then I came to learn of Taz through his wife, Nyla Says. So sometimes it can work. You know, Taz go hard for his wife, Nyla, which he should. But a lot of times, as I've heard them speak, it's a lot of them defending one another, because people, you know, somebody will come on there and, you know, might call Nyla a B or say something out of her name. And Taz like, yo, bro, like, cause you got the manospheres, like they don't like those women, you know. I check out their videos, their content too, because like I said, what I do over here on this platform, it's almost like this neutral space, because I feel like there's this disconnect with the Black man and the Black woman. They're not talking to each other. So I come on here to kind of just try to express certain concerns that men may have, and then concerns women may have, and just hope that we can try to find some type of resolution or something to where it's not the battle of the sexes, because that's what I feel like that's going on. It's the battle of the sexes. Now with Nyla, with Crystalline and Cynthia G, it's like Black woman wars, and we don't want to look up, we don't want to see our Black women going at each other, and I checked out, this morning I checked out I didn't watch all of it, but CNG seemed like CNG's hardcore, but I can pick up that she's kind of really feeling kind of hurt, because she's like, I didn't do nothing to Crystalline. Where's all this energy come from? I thought we were good. You come over to my platform, you've given me money, like, where is this energy coming from to where you're now showing old stuff that from things that I thought we hashed out? And so Sin G is kind of confused. Like, she's like, I don't understand where this came from. Yes, we had our problems, our conflicts in the past, but we worked through it. So why are we here? Why are you bringing up old receipts of whatever? She was like, Sinji, she always say anything she's ever done. So like she said, all my videos are still posted. You can literally go out there and just pull. She says it all the time. You can go out there and just watch any of my videos and it's going to back whatever I'm saying. She said that Crystalline, the video that she had where she was dogging her out, talking about her hair, saying that she bleaches her skin. She said, Crystalline got those videos blocked. Like, you can't just go and look for those videos. So I don't know if they're private. And I don't know if you're a member. A lot of YouTubers have these like membership, channel, where you pay money. I don't have anything like that right now, so I just, I'm a smaller YouTuber just growing. So she says that since Crystalline don't have the video up where it shows where it stemmed from, where she was talking bad about Sinji. She only is just showing video of when Sinji responded to her. So let me read some of the comments. For a non-Black man, it's not the same. If he doesn't know her, he really doesn't know. She was in Clubhouse defending her white boyfriend saying the N-word. Listen, I don't know what she said. What's her response? I haven't heard anything from her, because I guess I don't know. She's just she removed everything, because my thoughts, usually if somebody starts removing things, that's because they getting that heat, it's coming hard on them. They're trying to preserve their brand. They got to do damage control. I feel like, Crystalline is a businesswoman at the end of the day. And I feel like right now she's somewhere trying to figure out how to fix all of this. I don't know how she can fix all this. I mean, like anybody else, any other celebrities that mess up, you come out with an apology. I don't know. I don't know if it'll fix it where if she has to disconnect herself from Mr. E and be like, okay, well, we're not together because that ain't cool. Like, how they say denounce someone. Someone said, but how the Clubhouse and Cynthia G got mixed up. That's the thing, because I don't know if on that, because it was like a panel discussion, because I know there was like Crystalline had started speaking or did some type of collaboration with some other woman. I don't know if she's also a divester, but basically Crystalline was accusing Cynthia G of like, I guess, biting somebody else's style or trying to imitate like this other YouTuber. And Cynthia was like, I don't even know who that person is. I can't even remember who that other person is, because I'd never even heard of them. But Cynthia's like, I've never been about that whole divestment thing. Like, y'all, and Cynthia is right. Like, she's never said Black women go date Brad, go do whatever. She's never said that. She's just said, look, Keith ain't no good. Ray ain't no good. Pookie, like she just talks about the Black man, point blank, period. I've never seen her really try to encourage women to try to go and try something different, as do Crystalline do. So to me, their platforms are completely different. It's a different energy, really. Like, they're not even the same. So when I learned that they kind of things went left with them. I'm like, okay, let's rewind back. What did I miss? Because y'all not even in the same lane. Yeah, like crystalline don't even go hard to me with talking about black men. Like, she says her things, but Sin G go hard to the paint, y'all. Y'all know Sin, like, you got to be secure in your manhood if you're going to click on her channel and hear what she got to say, because sis is going hard. She goes hard. Like, I got to be in a certain headspace to even try to listen to Sin, because she goes so hard. It's like, okay, do I feel like dealing with all that energy right now? Because she go real hard, but she's very smart. She's very smart and she's very consistent. I will say that. Very smart and very consistent. And I do like that about her, because as they say, she stands firmly on her square. You cannot accuse her of not doing that. It's that energy of, yeah, I said it. Who gonna check me, boo? Period. That's what I get from Sanji, and you can only respect it. So I respect her. I don't always agree with everything she say, but I respect her. That's how I feel about her. Dinah D said she started crying and said she was done with the platform, and her boyfriend is ruining her business and putting her in a tough spot. Listen, it's a reason why you didn't have your ex-husband a part of your platform. Like, there's a reason. What was that reason why? I don't even know the man's name. That's how private she was. You just knew she had a white husband because she would talk about, how you on here encouraging black women to go date Brad, but you ain't got one. So you knew she had a white man, but she never would elaborate on him. I didn't even know what kind of work he did. I just knew that she had a white man, and he handled his business when it came to the family financially, period. It was nothing else we knew about him. Her brand continued to grow with us knowing as little as we did. What made her change it? I think probably when, naturally people, she's not, I think she just got excited being back on that dating scene, y'all. I really think that's what happened. I think it was just like, okay, I'm back out here and I want to try to document my journey. You know how that thing goes where, people follow along with you. And it was almost like, I wouldn't have been surprised if they probably would have done a spinoff with building something separately, kind of like Dr. Boyson, Dr. Alicia. If you're familiar, with that YouTuber, Dr. Boyce, I subscribe to him too. And he says a lot of, good things. And I like Dr. Alicia, but I think Crystalline was trying to go in a direction to build almost like a power couple type situation, because she's a businesswoman also. So I feel like that was she had plans for that relationship as it pertained to her brand and trying to do something with it. And Mr. E, who clearly wasn't somebody who was used to being in front of the camera, because when you're dealing with camera life, you got to be conscious of what you say. Even when I sometimes do videos, I was like, okay, let me try to use my words carefully, because I've listened to so many videos to where I understand that people can become offended by the things that you say. I do a lot of thinking about the things I want to say before I say it. I will say that, but that's just me trying to be responsible, because I don't like when people say how they really feel and then they got to circle back around and then apologize. Say what you say and stand on it. That's kind of my take. So I try to think before I speak and just figure out, what's the best way, or make sure I say something else to where I'm just not stepping on anybody's toes. Crystalline, she messed up. We all make mistakes. Can she bounce back from all of this? I feel she can, but something tells me that she's going to have to separate herself from Mr. E. Yeah. I think she's going to have to separate herself from him. I think she's going to have to come out and say, I denounce everything he said. I'm not with that. I saw a different side, and I'm still all for dating, divestment, but he's not the one. And you shouldn't tolerate I think it's going to have to go down some of those lines because I would imagine most of her subscribers are Black women. Like, I'm going to imagine, that majority, at least probably 80% of her subscribers are Black women. Like, or yes, at least publicly. I thought about that. But here's the thing: when you live in a lie, that stuff go come out, especially when you're big. Like, she come out and be like, yo, I left Mr. E, and then somebody come out with some proof. No, they still together. Like, that's not going to work, because you live in a whole lie. And who wants to live like that, knowing that they're really with somebody, but for the sake of their brand, they got to come out and say that they're not. So I wouldn't even encourage that, because it's like, you can't be your true, authentic self. Like, I don't think she'll be able to hide that for long. And she's too known out there. And I wouldn't want anybody to be in a situation where they feel like they have to hide who they with, who they love. I really feel like this is a situation where she's at the crossroads and she got to decide. And whichever decision she makes, she got to stand on her square and be like, yo, this is a decision I'm making, period. And by her being firm on whatever her decision is, it may impact that pink brand to where that's dissolved and she got to try to come up with something else. That's my thing. And I mean, it's just a sad situation. It's not a situation I would really wish on anyone. I just say the more of the story, y'all, is to keep your business and your personal life separate. Like, we live in a culture where everybody want to put everything out there on social media, like for clicks and views, like, oh, this is who I'm seeing now. We all have probably seen stories where somebody then put something out there about who they with, and now the attention's on it. And sometimes everybody ain't happy for you, and people want to intentionally hate on you, set you up so you say something that you gonna regret. You know how that goes. Somebody gonna piss you off, and then you cuss them out real good, and then they getting their feelings. And then now, since you're the bigger name, they looking at you side eye, and it was a setup. Like, it was a whole setup. It was a whole setup. So that we got to be smart, and we got to just keep our keep our personal lives and our business separate. This is a lesson for many of us to learn from. Like Sin, we don't know nothing about her personal life. I mean, she be on them doing them videos all the time. I don't pick up no energy that is anybody special around, but she don't talk about anybody either. So I think it's best for somebody to wonder what your situation is, versus you kind of bringing them on and just letting the world know, kind of like how we treat with our kids. We ain't trying, we're not so quick to, or some of us, like I said, some people just put everything out there. But with our kids, where you, like, I've heard Sin got a child. Like, she never talks about this child, but I more so hear, I remember years ago when I first learned about her, that she was supposed to have gotten pregnant and had a child by some other male YouTuber. And he had like a bunch of kids or whatever. I think recently he came out, and the manosphere was kind of eating him up because he was making some comments, like, I think in defense of Black women. But Sin never talks about having any kids. I don't ever hear her talk about having kids. Do you guys, do anybody have confirmed that if she has a child? Because back when I was hearing about her supposedly being pregnant by this man, this was when I first discovered her, which was maybe about 3 years ago. I would think this child would be about 3 years old by now. So, but she don't talk about it, and I'm not mad at her. So, Crystalline, sis gonna have to learn, and this was a hard lesson. And we've all had those hard lessons in life, and this is one of them, and it's one that may cost her big time. Yeah, she has 3 children, I believe, and she talks about them. Who has 3 children? Crystalline or Sin G? I know Crystalline has 4. Sin G, I don't ever hear her talk about kids. Sharon Brazil, who has 3 children? I'm just curious to know who you're referring to. Rose Ghost, I think Crystalline is a PR stunt queen for real, and I'm not mad at her. Yeah. Crystalline Carson. Crystalline has 4 kids. She got 3 with her husband. I looked her up, and she had 1 going into the relationship. So she has a total of 4. Actually, I know she has 4 because I heard her. It was another a male YouTuber about a week or so ago. I heard her kind of going back and forth with, because he did a video and she was kind of addressing the lies, I guess, that he was spewing out and stuff. So yeah, crystalline has 4. But she had 3 with the white husband, and she has 1 daughter, her oldest daughter, that was by a black man. If you do a search on her, you'll find pictures and things of her family. And she's talked about, I heard her say she has 4 kids. I think the youngest is 12, and the oldest, I want to say, she said she's 23. Cynthia has 1 and CK has 3. Yeah. So yeah, PR to put her heat on Sin and off that random boyfriend. Yeah, I mean, crystalline, she's a businesswoman. She's smart also. I feel like, she's doing damage control, and maybe Sin kind of came, as a way to deflect. So I don't know if the whole Sin name came up in the midst of the whole Mr. E using the N-word. I don't know, because it's like I just kind of heard all of this all at the same time. So I don't know where they overlap. Cynthia keeps her child off the radar. It's by Robert P. Okay. Yeah, she never talks about a child. She never talks about a child. So that's her personal business, and period. But we know it's a business move to give the face of your brand to a partner so quickly. It was a brand move. DH, I agree, because crystalline's about her money. I really feel like she was going to try to do a spin-off on something pertaining to her and Mr. E, because he was like too heavy on there. And I just think Mr. E, he wasn't used to being, I'm pretty sure, like most people, most of us, at least me, you're not used to being with someone who's on a platform that's so large. And it's like when you start, even when you're dating somebody who has a large platform, you even have to start moving differently, because you're an extension of that person. So what you do, it can impact that person and their brand. So that's another thing that we have to think about when we want to date a quote unquote celebrity or somebody who's well known, is because now it's like your privacy kind of becomes impacted. Like Mr. E's life wasn't the same anymore. Like I said, I believe Mr. E had used that N-word before, even if he hadn't directed it towards anybody. I feel like Mr. E wasn't a stranger to the word. He used it casually. And then in this situation, when he used it, it's almost like he forgot where he was at and he used it. And it's like, oh, shoot. I'm not just at home chilling, talking to whoever. Like, I feel like that's something kind of that happened where he was comfortable using it, because if you're not comfortable, like I'm not comfortable, I don't even use the word. So I never even slip up and use the word, because it's not a part of my vocabulary, y'all. So if you understand that, think of some words that people use. If you use it regularly, you're going to spend a lot of time like, oh, I'm sorry, my bad, because you're always using it. But if it's not something you use as part of like your normal lingo, then it's not going to even come up, like, because it's not a word you use. So I feel like he wasn't a stranger to that word. It came out. The world came to know, like, oh, snap. So you familiar with that word, because you just look how easy, you was able to use it. Period. I'm saddened by the whole situation, because I don't like to see our Black women just going at each other. Like I said, I already see a lot of, to me, battle of the sexes, where you got the men out there going against the women. Like, y'all, that's all over. You got the manosphere. Then there's this YouTuber, I think her channel is called The Woman Sphere. She's been on Sin G's channel. She was like, listen, I knew crystalline wasn't about that. I told you it'd be a matter of time. You just thought I was just hating or just not trying to be friendly or whatever. But this woman was like, listen, I know crystalline. I knew she was going to do this. And I told y'all. And Sin was like, yes, you did say it. But I'm surprised. Sin just didn't expect for it to go down like this. But I don't think it's good on any day to see our sisters going at it with one another. Just like it's not good on any day to see our brothers going at it. And it's dang sure not good to see our brothers and sisters going at it. But it's like, it's always something. Like, somebody always mad about something. read some of the comments. So Crystalline pulled down the entire channel. The mess is real. Oh, it's very real, especially when your whole channel and you got over 100,000 subscribers on there. I remember when she hit 100,000. When I found her, I think she was at 20,000. I found Crystalline pre-pandemic. Crystalline probably had about 20,000 subscribers. And then I would say within like the last 8 months, she probably got the majority of her subscribers in like that short period of time, because she was really on there pushing. I remember she was even going to do a one-on-one interview with Kevin Samuels. And because I learned about Kevin like right at the top of the whole pandemic. You know, you just on internet a lot and during my little daily walk, and I came across Kevin. I'm like, oh, who's he? Kevin had like 20,000 subscribers at that time, y'all. And I'm like, okay. But he lost me when he started talking crazy and reckless about the Black women. My thing is, yes, you can have your opinion about us, but you can have it and not be disrespectful. So Crystalline felt the same way. So I was listening that day when she talked with Kevin, was like, yeah, we're going to talk. And then when she heard him cussing some woman out, calling her all kinds of names, Crystalline was like, I can't go on and go back on that platform for the sake of my brand. I can't support somebody who's going to talk crazy and reckless to Black women like that. And that was the very reason why I unsubscribed, because my thing is, you can have your opinion all day long, but it's just, you got to be respectful to people. Just because somebody don't like what, somebody don't like what you said, or you don't like what they say, it doesn't mean that you have to turn around and insult them. I just don't rock with that. Like, so he lost me at that. So I ain't clicked on none of his videos since, but he had like 20,000 subscribers back then, y'all. So that was just a year ago, a little more than a year ago. So that man has grown significantly just in that short period of time. Crystalline has grown a lot. I think during this whole pandemic, a lot of people have, because people are in the house more. So, when pandemic started, that's what kind of stopped my whole YouTube thing, because I had just started it right before then. So it kind of stopped mine. And then this year I kind of picked back up and try to be more consistent with it, do lives and things like that. So that's what I try to do, before I would do pre-recorded. Now I do lives, because I want to hear, what you all think, and, in real time, as far as everything that's been going on with everything. Because there's a lot going on in these YouTube streets. Like, you can't run out of content. There's always something to talk about. So I'm like, I got to get back on YouTube and talk, because it's so much going on. It's so much going on to where it really had me thinking along the line of, oh, well, maybe I don't want to get on YouTube, because it's like everybody was at each other. Like, it's like, okay, do everything got to be a fight? Like, really? Lord, let me see. I just like hearing about all these women, closed casket Black women, like 90 going west. They should marry out by sir. Yeah. They should marry out by sir. I'm all for, if you want to kind of marry, do your thing, do you, boo, do you. That's all, mama. Do you, boo. Do you. But I feel like as you're doing you do not have to down your race, as what they say, exit quietly. I like that saying, exit quietly, because I think when you making noise, it kind of sends the message of you really don't want to leave. So you just making a scene, because it's just like, okay, can you please do right? Because I really don't want to leave. That's why I'm making this noise, because y'all know, like, when we don't really care about something, we gone, we out. There's nothing more to talk about, period. Like, we not making all that noise. We're moving on. And so my thing is, move on. What you say? It's positive thinking. Let me see. I'm trying to see these comments. It's positive thinking to see growth in CK has been these Karen Rents that inspects her efforts and creepy to me. She's not the queen of rap. It's a choice to post. She should move around. Yeah. Yeah, listen, Nyla synthetic George, Nyla pink pill, etc. Nonsense. Y'all want to slander and bash Black men with lies. I'm doing the same with the truth. Listen, we live in a world of free speech. My thing is, if you don't like what somebody got to say, what they're putting out on the channel, don't click on them, don't listen to them, period. Like, you don't, why are you, you don't want to give somebody, because, when you're clicking on their videos, you're giving them clicks that can equate to you money. Like, you're really supporting them. And guys, while you're on here, if you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe. Yeah, I want to hear from you. Make sure you comment on the videos. Check out my other videos I have out there. But I got a lot to say. I mean, I try to hear everybody out, period. Like, that's just me. Seriously, black man, he's trolling and called, W toilets. Wow. Definitely not a troll. My channel isn't very small. Listen, Lord, honesty, you're entitled to have your opinion. Everybody can have their opinion. It just comes down to just people just respecting one another's opinion. Period. Whatever you want to do, you can do what you want to do. Like, we're all entitled to do us. Lord, honesty, I'm an actual content creator. Hey, right now, YouTube, that's the way to get, if you feel a certain type of way about anything, that's your platform. You can do as you will on your platform. That's the beauty of having your own platform, and people who are like-minded typically are the ones that are going to show up and support you. That's just what it's all about. But yeah, I have an appointment. I have to get ready to jump off of here. I may jump back on later, but I just wanted to just put this out there to you all, because it's just really been swirling around, and it's just not a good look right now for us, for our community. Yeah. You're a content creator who said you're here to see black women fail and says you're married to a Latina. Okay. Listen, do you, boo, do you, whatever. Like, ladies, I always say, love who love you, period. Love who love you, whatever that looks like. Love who love you. Moral of the story. Nothing else to be said. Sad. I tell y'all, y'all something else in these comments. But yes, please like, share, subscribe. My channel is growing. I do appreciate, any of you who are here and who have subscribed already. I thank you. Also, while you're here, if you could, hit the like button, it helps with the algorithm. Subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I may jump on and come back later and do a live. Listen, it's so much to talk about out here. I definitely encourage you to check out some of my other videos, my other content, because, I'm always going to have something to say. There's something to be said about everything. We all have an opinion. I try to be respectful. And then I also just try to be neutral. I have sons and a daughter. So the way I look at it is like, I'm raising men and women. So I'm going to try to look at things from both sides. Not that, I'm a woman, so I'm going to take a hard stance on women. That's not how I look at things. I am raising 2 black men, and I'm raising a black woman. So that's where the premise of just my thoughts come from. If you do listen to any of my content, it comes from that neutral place. And that's where I pull it from me being a mother to both male and female. There's no other way that I can look at it. As well as, I'm married to a black man. So I'm not going to be on here dogging a black man and I'm married to one. That's the part that always gets me with Nyla. Nyla got a whole black husband, but Nyla be on there going in about black men. Hell, Taz, he a black man himself, and Taz be going in too. So, they crack me up, they go hard. So like I said, you got to be in a different kind of headspace before you click on their channels. But, I'm all about supporting, people and hearing what people have to say, because that's where I draw a lot of, my content from. Because I'm like, okay, what are people saying out here in the streets? I want to hear what people are saying. Yeah. And that's, so that's how I, I get out there and I go visit different people's channels. So, yeah, I'm going to be ending this. If you put your notification bell on, you'll know when I jump back on. I have an appointment. So maybe a little later, I may come back on. either with this topic or talk about something else that I may want to hit on. So we'll see. But again, I'm Chic from Chic Say What. Peace.